What's up, everybody? It's Brandon. I'm back with another knee-jerk reaction review. This is one I just now got around to watching, even though it came out like 5 weeks ago. So I debated on posting it. I'm really late to the scene, but fuck it. We got a short amount. There we go, a short amount of episodes this week. So why not go all out? And, it is a knee jerk reaction. I did just watch this movie. That movie would be Jungle Cruise, starring The Rock and Emily Blunt, and one dude that's really funny in Game Night that I know his name any other time. Also was in Judas and the Black Messiah. That guy, let me tell you, all three of them, great in this movie. I was going into this movie thinking it was going to be a turn your brain off type flick. I'm somebody that was a die-hard, one of my favorite people on the planet, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, when he was in like WWF. I say WWF because when I watched it, it was WWF. So fucking screw off, okay? That's just what it was. I get it's WWE now. That's how I remember it, so that's how I like to say it. But yeah, he was just king to me. I learned how to do this. This whole thing right here is literally just because of The Rock. I only know how to raise my eyebrow. Like that wasn't something naturally I could do. I literally would practice it till I could do the people's eyebrow. That's how much I looked up to this guy. And when his movie career first started, I didn't love any of his movies, but he had some decent ones. The Rundown, Faster is an underrated one. But lately, he's been in these bigger budget ones. They're noticing, oh, this guy can sell. And they're really lifeless. There's not a lot to them. They're not bad. They're not very good either. I thought this was going to be another one of those where you just kind of turn your brain off. And I got to tell you, there's a little more fucking here, dude. Very, very, very surprised by this movie. I think The Rock is really as good as he's ever been. His charm is fucking firing on all cylinders. But the big thing that's helping him here, I think, is the chemistry with Emily Blunt, who's on fire right now too. Just dropped A Quiet Place 2 this year. The guy that I was just talking about from Game Night and all that, he was really good as like the kind of villain. I don't know, you gotta watch the movie to see exactly how that plays out. And then, of course, the third guy. There's a third guy in this that's like with Emily Blunt's character, and he's tagging along with The Rock and them. And I thought he was really good. I don't know his actor name, but he was solid. The effects in this movie I thought were really awesome. There's a lot of like awesome set pieces of action where like it actually had me on the edge of my seat, surprisingly, where I was like, oh shit. I was kind of tripping out a little bit. I was like, why am I so invested in this? But it really pulls you in. But the really cool thing about this movie I can say is like, even though the effects were dialed up to 9, it's still somehow, at least to me, managed to have a throwback type of vibe. I don't know. Like these kind of movies usually that are like big action spectacles, but now they're just over flooded with CGI, and that's fine when it's enough money's dumped into it and it's done right. And that's just kind of the era we're in. But they don't capture that feel and essence of action movies past, adventures movies past. And something about this one just feels different to me. It doesn't feel like it's gonna wash and repeat. And that's probably why they're already going ahead with a second Jungle Cruise. It's already been announced. It doesn't feel like that movie. You're like, oh, I had a fun time at the theater, but you forget about it like that. You know what I mean? Obviously, movies like Jumanji, you won't because it's already a big property. But Jungle Cruise, what is this? Based off a ride at like Disney World or some shit? This should be a movie that's just Rinse and Pete done after one, but I think they know they have something else there, and that's why they're going ahead with the second one, which I was surprised about because there is something to be said about this movie where it feels a little throwbacky, where it's not just your CGI fest, turn your brain off, have fun. There's also an element of like something there grabs you. It takes you in, pulls you in, and you really like these characters. And one last thing I can definitely say about this movie that also really surprised me because this is a hard thing to manage. Sometimes, this movie's got a PG-13 rating, but watching the trailer, I'm like, I feel like that's kind of more of a kid's movie. But then you see the PG-13 rating, if you have kids, and you're strict. Now, I'm not, but I know some people are, so maybe this can give you solace. If you're still listening, it's not really a spoiler. But let me just tell you this much. This movie, you see some movies where it's supposed to be a kid's movie, but they go a little too much in the adult direction, where you're kind of like, okay, damn, like, like what my kid, it's kind of bloody, or like, whoa, some of the dialogue, oh, they're really cussing this movie. This is supposed to be a kid's movie. It's not like the old days where kids would watch Goonies and they'd be cussing the whole time. We don't care. You know, we're a lot more sensitive in this generation. But you know, they do a amazing job of like having the adult humor, but it's also something to the it's also to the point where it'll go right over your kid's head. Like they'll be talking about sexual stuff and you're like, sexual stuff? I don't want my 5-year-old to see that. Yeah, but they do it in a manner to where like wink wink, nudge nudge, adult gets it, the kid will have no idea what's going on. So they handle that really well. So that's what I think I give the biggest prop about this movie. And the action, too. It's fascinating, very cool action scenes. Yeah, people die on screen, but it's not like where people are getting their throat slit or anything. It's like fun action where like the deaths don't feel like, oh my God, like it would traumatize the kid. It's like over in a second. And you as an adult know, like, okay, yeah, that guy probably just got stabbed. And then you see these other kid movies that are just like, you know, you have fun with them in a nostalgic way. When you see this movie, you won't have fun with it in a nostalgic way. You'll have fun with it in a way knowing that, like, wow, this isn't, you know, just a movie for my kid. This is something that I can watch on my own merits and really enjoy. So I think they do a perfect job of balancing the, like, as good as a job as I can give any movie in balancing, like, okay, this is an adult film I can see on my own and have a blast with, whereas my kid is also going to be on the edge of his seat, like, I'm having so much fun with this, Mom, and you're not losing anything from both sides. I think Jungle Cruise nails that down to a T. And I got to tell you, man, this movie really fucking surprised me. I'm going to give Jungle Cruise an 8.3 out of 10. Wow. Did not expect that at all. Thought it was going to be like a 6. Nope. Great movie. I look forward to number 2. I can't believe I'm saying this. Love y'all.